All right. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Real Talk 100. My name is Joyce Spencer Mintz, and I'm coming to you live. Yep, straight from a very own little studio, my own little private place of comfort. Hope you all are having a wonderful, wonderful start of your weekend. We're going to take a little time, do a little housekeeping, wait on our guests to come in, and uh, I'm hoping they're coming in. Anyway, so tonight we are about to embark into a little conversation. I've invited some young men to our platform tonight. Oh, there we go. Let's see. And of course, our co-host. I want to add her to the stream. All right. Okay. There's my partner in crime. Hey, lady, how are you?
I'm good trying to figure out
All
how to
right.
get back.
Well, I noticed that we were having some beeps in and out. I'm not sure how many. I know we're streaming from several different platforms, so I'm hoping my mic is okay, and everybody can hear me, and that we don't have any interference tonight with our broadcast. So I think we'll start off with our little housekeeping. As usual, you all know we always give this disclaimer. You have the right to agree or disagree with anything that we say here, and we're still gonna love you. Yes, we are. So anyway, I know you were taking care of some business, co-host. Have you completed that task yet?
Um, I think it went to a different location.
Oh, absolutely can't have that.
Anywho, I'll worry about that in the next life.
Oh, well, I'll try to run in intercede from over here for you. Okay. And I noticed that my guest list did not show up. When you came in, it didn't show up where it normally does. And I guess because you are on streaming from another platform as well. Feel free to share this in the destination. So, our conversation tonight, we're going to wait on our young men to chime in, and hopefully they are off of their jobs and ready to participate in this conversation tonight. So, we're talking about Father's Day. And so we'll just go ahead from the women's point of view, and it is our point of view. We hope there's something said here, something shared here, will not only help you to be better, but do better. Hey, we've got a guest right here. I see my favorite person, uh, Line Lair. Glad to see you. Hope you're having an awesome time. All right, I see we got a guest chiming in here tonight, and we're going to invite him right on in. Well, hey, there she is. Let me add her to the stream, y'all. Long time no see.
I know,
All
right?
right, are you there?
Yep, I'm here.
Well,
How are
you
you?
just been good. You just been missing in action.
I know. I work every Thursday night. I work every Friday night. I have used to have Thursdays off. But how y'all been doing? I miss y'all.
Awesome. We miss you too. We miss you too. I'm glad you're here tonight because we were waiting on some young men to chime in on this conversation. We're hoping that the fellas stick by, but you, as well as my daughter and myself, we we have the experience, life experience of raising young men without fathers.
Uh huh.
So, from the woman's point of view, I wanted us to be able to share tonight some of the experiences, um, the ups, and there are some pros, some cons. Um, we are women, and so when it comes to raising men, it's just only a point that we can get them to, and then we try to get them on over the hill. So we want to share with women tonight, and men and young people, some of the challenges that we met as parents and single women and married women raising young men. So, and guests and viewers, I want you to chime in if you have comments. We will try to answer them, get to you. But I really, really want to look at that side. And Trudy, I know you know because I saw those handsome young men of yours,
Oh,
and
girl,
they are getting bigger every day.
every
So come
day.
on, chime on in here. One of the questions that we posed tonight, the absence of the father.
Mm, I feel
So
that
even as an adult woman, you go ahead
I'm
and
sorry.
comment on that.
I actually feel that that is probably one of the biggest concerns in raising our male generation, our gentlemen. Um, to me, some people, and this just is my opinion, feel that some of the sin that is being committed today is instilled in us, that we're born with it. And yeah, we were born into sin, but that doesn't mean sin was born into us. And what I mean by that is some people are saying that, oh, they were born gay. I knew that they were gay, this thing, blah, 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 blah. But I honestly feel like it has to do with a lot, has a lot to do with how you're raised. So if you just have a predominant, and it's not for everybody, if you have a predominantly upbringing by a um, female model, then you're going to tend to have feminine ways. You know what I'm saying? That's the reason why it's very important for the male to be in each child's life, because how would a woman know how a man's supposed to treat her if she doesn't watch her father, how her father treats her mother? And I just honestly believe that the male the male aspect of any relationship is extremely important, especially during these times where people are not recognizing sin, they're not recognizing wrongdoing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like if we had a little bit more enforcement, and that's what the male is supposed to do to protect and enforce, then I feel like a lot of the stuff that the generation behind us are doing wouldn't be tolerated, wouldn't be happening. It's a all for free, do it all what you want to do kind of world. Whereas when we were growing up, there, even if we were feeling that way, we wouldn't have never told nobody. We'd have kept it
Hmm.
hidden. They don't even hide it no more. It's like, you know. But
Hmm.
that's just my
Hmm.
personal opinion on it.
And as usual, y'all know we always get a disclaimer. You have the right to agree or disagree with anything that we say here, and we're still gonna love you. And
Right.
so I heard you when you said, um, if you tend to be raised by women, you'll be a little more on your feminine side. It is, some people think or have that opinion that young men raised by women tend to be a little more feminine. So,
And,
Miss
and
Carter,
And with that
oh,
being said, that doesn't mean they're gonna have like their hand stuck out, their pinky stuck out when they lift the cup or nothing. You know what I'm saying? It'd be more like
mm-hmm,
they have tendencies to do stuff where it might you might have to beg a man to do, like wash the dishes or something. You know what I'm saying? Something simple as that, not engaging in any kind of illegal or immoral acts or nothing like that.
all right, Miss Carter, what's your intake on that, sister girl? Oh, I think she might be doing a little something over there. She lost track of her mic for the moment. Well, I'm gonna say, hold on, we got another guest coming in here, y'all. Oh, she must have accidentally got blanked out. All right, Miss Carter,
Hey,
what
I
happened?
don't even know,
All right.
child. I don't know. I'm sitting here
Well, I will look
screaming.
up. I will handle it on this end right quick. Okay, I
Oh,
think
I
I
was
can.
just screaming. Um, I was gonna say, well, I don't know that would be the case. My thing is, look, I'm not God. I didn't set up heaven. I didn't set up hell. I don't put nobody up there, and I can't. You know what I'm saying? I can't put you down. I can't bring you up there. All I'm saying is, I have two
Mm-hmm.
young gentlemen,
All
and
right,
with the
sweetheart.
way I
Love
was
you.
raised, with my um, you all right? Hold on.
Okay, yeah, we had a little broadcast interference with Miss Carter, our co-host. So anyway, she said, hold on. So I'm gonna say, she raised two young men. I heard of what she just said about that. I myself have two men, and as one of our guests, our panelists, hey, y'all got your cameras off, guys. I need you to come on back in. Um, as she was saying, that young men seem to be more in tune to their feminine side. And she doesn't mean that that means that they're, and I want to make sure I worded it right. She said holding their pinky out. Um, but they have no problem with washing dishes, or I would say they're more in tune to their sensitive side. That's a better word I would put for it. Either or. But I think that young men that experience being raised by women, sometimes they do have the benefit of learning empathy and sympathy more so. And not saying that a man can't provide that, because I know single fathers and great single fathers who have raised awesome young men. And in fact, I invited some of them tonight. But of course, they haven't showed up yet, but we're hoping. Um, but I am going to say that I think they get the best of both worlds if they have a good support system where there are men in their lives that can teach them the things they know about being a man, and also having the benefit of being raised by a single mother. So, um, I know we got a little difficulty going on right now with our co-hosts. They're kind of quiet, but bear with me.
I'm
And I
coming
see
right
one
back
of our,
down y'all street. Hold on one second.
yes, she coming back down the street with this as a single mother. I also want to add a guest in, hopefully to our stream. And so while we're doing that, I want you to have a little patience with me because I do see someone on the screen that I think would have great input also on what we're sharing tonight. It's Father's Day. We all know that during this time of season, we get a lot of young women. They're out there, and the children they're wanting to know where the dads are if they're not at home. And so we have single mothers. We also have married women, and that maybe the children's fathers are just no longer around and they're with a new mate. But whatever the case is, um, how important of a role do you all feel that it is for our male children to have a male figure, um, father figure, or father? How important is it for them to have their father? Because everyone cannot be a father and are not called to be a father. So I want y'all to
Um,
chime in and leave some comments on that. And Miss Carter, are you
yes,
back with us now with your rebuttal? All right,
yes.
go
Trying
ahead,
to get this
share.
to
Did you
um,
find what you were looking for?
yes. I'm just trying to
Awesome.
connect to my Facebook because I don't want nobody to miss this. Um,
Uh-oh. That means it's
can
a
you
good
hear
one,
me?
y'all. She don't want nobody to miss this, so she connecting it to make sure all viewers gonna see it. Okay. Yes, we can hear you.
Well, I was gonna say that I I I have two boys, and I know that some people think that who you raised by, and I have two brothers, that I was raised in the house with, very manly, very 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 much. I guess
Melly and
people,
everything.
yeah, and every kind of, I mean. and I have two boys, and they are very, very, they boys. Did I purposely do that to them? Probably. Um, do I think that having a mother, um, being a single mother is guaranteed that your son gonna be weak? Absolutely not. Um, because I mean, I could never make that assumption because I've already seen that that's not how it goes. What I can say is that I think I think there comes a time where we're gonna have to stop making excuses. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
You know, you got to stop making excuses for the things
Hey,
that
hey. Mhm.
you know what I'm saying. You got to stop making excuses. You just do who you are and what you do with your children depends much on you. I mean, if you don't, what as a single woman, because it's Father's Day coming around, and I think we had this talk earlier today. What you don't do is you don't put your sons down, especially. And even, you try to get them some male role models around them that are going to be positive in their life, because that has a lot to do with it also. If your young men aren't acting manly, it could be because of the example of men you placed around them, men who haven't learned how to handle business like grown men should. If you have a man around them that is sitting around not doing nothing with themselves, you of course are putting into your children and your sons' lives that's what women want, because that's the type of person you sticking with. You know what I'm saying? It's not time to be putting on to uh women. So many strong male men have had single mothers. I mean, Barack Obama. Hello. We're not gonna do
Come
that.
on now. Come
We're
on,
not
girl.
gonna
Come on,
sit up
bring
here
it.
and say that a single mother can't raise a strong man, especially in black households. We're not doing that. But let's take the blame off of who the kids are in the house with, and let's go ahead and put it down to how you treat your children as they are raised up. You can't coddle a boy. You really can't coddle a girl either, because you can't send your children out into this world naked. You know what I'm saying? Yes, God is always there. God is always the head of your household. But please understand, He can't come down here and tell them. He gives you the words to tell them and train them up in the way that they should go. But what you're not
Mhm.
gonna do is put God being the band-aid on all of it. Because if that was the case, you could just holler Jesus and God help me, and He'd come down and rescue the whole situation. That's not how they go. When He give you something, which are your children, it is your job to make sure those children come up better than when He gave them to you. He give them to you in your womb so you
Come
can
on
eat
now.
right and you nurse right and you get those babies here. Even if your child has a birth defect or anything else that they are born with, that is still your child. Your child come out with autism. It's not for you to let that child still be in this world not knowing nothing. You teach that child the best you can in the best way that your resources let you know how. It's not gonna be because the daddy ain't here, that's why he act like, no, that's not it. That can't be a what about children whose fathers passed away? What's that
Come
supposed
on.
to do? That don't mean that they had a deadbeat daddy. That means that their father passed away. So what you gonna do? What can you do in their life to replace that male role model? You don't want a woman. You don't want your son running around with a woman who has him henpecked. So don't henpeck your sons. Quit yelling at your sons all the time, calling them stupid, slapping them upside the head, telling them they can't do this, they can't do that. That's not what that's not, it's not it's take, and even with daughters, you can't do that either. You can't be
Mm-hmm.
running around calling your dog. That's what men do. That's not what men do. I don't know men like that who do silly stuff like that. I don't know any men. I've been with people who women have been like, girl, you better watch out for him. He go upside your head. Who? Just who he?
Y'all know this
When
real talk. Y'all know we keep it real. It's called Real
when
Talk 100 because we
when
keep
that
it
gonna happen?
100.
When is that gonna happen? Who putting up with that?
Absolutely.
So if you run
Absolutely.
around with a man who treating you bad in any kind of way in front of your children, you feeding that man before you feed your children. That's on you. That's not.
Come on, girl.
That's
Come on.
that's not in the raising. That's not have anything to do with the fact that you a single mother. That has everything to do with how you are uh with the environment you are raising your children in. You know, when I'm at my
Okay.
house, um,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? I can fuss and I can say, you know, and I make it a thing not to fuss. Because one
Mm-hmm.
thing I know for certain, especially when my children go out into the world and they come home, whether it be from school or from work, I don't want them coming home to a home of chaos. So
Mm-hmm.
when people come in my house and disrupt my home, my children see chaos and they're like, oh no, that don't even feel right.
Mm-hmm.
They gotta go.
Absolutely. Y'all know my camera crooked, but that's all right. We gonna carry on. I don't know. Somebody been messing with my little camera, but we gonna carry on. Couple of things you just said. When you said about, people coming into your home and creating chaos, but I want to backtrack it because also when you were talking about women get it together, because one thing I wanted to make sure that we reiterated tonight in this conversation, because so many young women um, and young men, they go through a lot with an absentee parent, and sometimes they talk about it and sometimes they don't. They don't mention it to their parents, but they're talking about it to someone, and so they need to be reassured of who they are. It is important that they know who they are, not only in Christ, but who they are individually. Who you hang around with, what you have, and does not define who you are. You have to know who you are for yourself. And by doing that, even with an absent parent, because a lot of times people say, "Well, what's wrong with me? Why my dad went away? Why I don't have a father?" Well, guess what? You had a father because you here, and you still have a father which is in heaven. And so when you start feeling that state of mind, come on, ladies, I want you to come in and give me some input about that. What do we say to young people when they are depressed and disgusted because they feel like their father is not around, or they're missing out on something because they don't know who their dad is? I want you to share something with our audience tonight about that.
Well, um, I think, um, and for the men who are out there who think, you know, all women don't tell your children things about you, no matter what you're going through and what it is you're trying to, you know, what it is you're trying to be on. Sometimes your children feel the way about you they feel because it's just you. Hello?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Got you. Are you still there? So
Uh-huh.
I want to say this. Um, because what you just said made a lot of sense too. Um, when women talk about the fathers of their children badly in front of their children or to their children, um, and I know you got some degrees and stuff. We got some life experience. Um, what is your opinion on how it affects the child? Have you had to experience that?
I've seen it. I
Hmm.
purposely have made it a point not to do it.
Hmm.
I don't, because of, you know, your children can take on those traits,
Hmm.
you know, because, the children have come from two different people. So they might act like you, they might act like, you ever think about, you think about children who ain't never even seen a grandparent, but you look back and you be like, man, they act just like my mom. you know,
Right, right, right. We
that's
have
very
to.
scary. And if you're gonna celebrate something, please understand. You know what I'm saying? You have to celebrate the good qualities in your children, because even if it was something in your mate or their parent,
Hmm.
the after parent that made you think of them. You know what I'm saying? At the time, please believe when you was in the sheets, you wasn't thinking about that. You wasn't thinking about that negative quality. So we're not gonna do that. I always tell, if I'm gonna say something about it, I'll be like, ooh, you.
Uh-oh, I lost you. So I'm going to go ahead and jump and come back in on that. Um, it's very important, and I really wanted to do this broadcast tonight because it was on my heart. It's really important that we don't. Um, oh, I lost all the guests, y'all. um, it's really important that we learn a different behavior when it comes to our male children as well as our female children. Um, One, if the dad's not around and if he's no good, he wasn't always no good because apparently he was good enough for you to be getting them babies. So y'all know this real talk. It's time for me to bring it to you real. So one, mothers, don't downgrade your child's father to them. If you've got an opinion about him, perhaps you need to just hold on to that. Because when you share it with them, then they form an opinion that you have formed, and it creates issues within their life. If they don't really know their father, then they're forming their opinion of their father from your opinion. So it's important that you let his work speak for itself. And when your child get old enough to understand the difference, they can form their own opinion about the absentee parent or the present parent. Because whatever you let go on in your house, remember, children are not, they're not as unlearned as we think. Um, sometimes people say, well, we're going here, stay here. Children see first. They see everything. And if you think you're hiding something from them, let me give you a clue. You're not, because they're a lot wiser nowadays than they were back then. You got little ones in the back of the car who are already working your iPhone. So tell me, truly, they understand when they hear frustration, anger, um, love. They know the difference between all of those emotions. And when you allow them to be in the presence of good or bad, you're helping to form who they are. And so even if that absent parent is not there, you can't totally just say, well, if I had a dad, I wouldn't be that way. No, you have to learn to show the life that you want your children to lead and also teach them. Don't
Yep,
lead them just to their own understanding.
yep.
Talk to them, listen to them. So come on back in, Miss Carter. I think we lost our other
I'm here.
co-host.
I was,
Okay.
I was thinking, I mean, yeah, I mean, my thing is this: when I am, because as you know, personally, that I am around a lot of young men who grew up without fathers, and I'm thinking, on my children's friends groups, you know, their immediate friends, how many of them grew up without their real fathers, or, or with a father figure, and they are very much manly men who do what they're supposed to do. And whether it's, now that they older, stopping and helping their mother with their younger siblings, that's what they do. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I mean, so like I said, it's the environment in which you raise your children in. It's your expectations out of your children. I can't I can't expect something from them that they have never seen. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
You can't just throw a young man in a situation, what, because then what they do is they go, when young men don't understand what it takes to be a father, or to be a man in this world, or to show up in this world as a man, they go out and they have a bunch of babies, because that's what they think makes them a man. Being a man
Mhm.
means going out having a bunch of kids. But when young men understand the responsibilities
Mhm.
that it takes when you bring a life into this world, they ain't trying to be, bringing in no family. They ain't trying to bring in no children. Just,
If they
you know,
are, they making sure they got money to take care of
right, right. And if they are,
them.
exactly, they,
Okay.
yeah,
So I'm gonna throw that in there because some young men just
yeah.
like a lot of children, but they also take care of those children.
I'm just speaking
They
for the
make sure that
demographic.
yeah, I'm saying that for the men out here who decided to have a large family, a lot of them do, they make sure they got a job. You don't get a bunch of kids and then you can't take care of them, or you planning on paying child support for a lifetime because you didn't take care of what you had to take care of in the first place. So
Right.
I'm gonna throw that in there. Because we don't discriminate on Real Talk. And
Yeah,
if the shoe hits you in the head, then next time duck.
but I'm pretty sure that most of
But we
the
love
men
you.
what I'm saying is the men who have done their job, what I'm saying, the young
Hmm.
men who, even if they have one child and they were
Hmm.
made to take care of that baby like they were supposed to, you don't see them with two
Hmm.
or three of them. You see them with one. No, that's it. I'm the one and done, sir. We done.
Well, too, now we have to go ahead and jump over here to some of the situations where um, young women decide to have children, but they have not found out the kind of man they trying to have a child with.
Oh, you find out after you tell them you pregnant, girl, because they either
Okay,
staying
so
or they going. That's it, and that's all.
that's also important. It's Father's Day, and I want to say that again. It's getting ready to be Father's Day, and I don't want to see anybody jumping off a limb or a bridge, or just psychologically messed up because they feel like had they had a father or a man in their life would be so much better. Understand?
Sometimes that father that wasn't theirs could have been. That's the best thing could happen for you.
Yeah, because I will say this, and we always have to, come over here to the spiritual side. And for those who don't believe, we hope one day you do believe. For those that do believe, stand on the word of God and understand when He said He know you. He knew us before we were in our mother's womb, and so when He created us, He already knew the plans He had for us, and everything that we go through. Either we're going to believe what the word says or we ain't.
Your
And it
your
says,
microphone went out.
all things work together for the good of them that love the Lord and are called according to His purpose. We can't just scratch out and say some of those things,
Your
okay?
microphone
He
went out.
said all of those things. So we have to make sure that we understand as for our life so
There we
that
go.
we don't get caught up in that situation where we're depressed or don't know what we were created for. You never know what could have come down the line by you continually trying to have a relationship with someone that the Lord did not intend you to. Sometimes He allows someone to plant that seed, but someone else to water it and nourish it. So, I just want to say that to, young or old, if you are feeling like, uh-oh, if you're feeling like, you missed out on something, um, and you just can't go on with your life because he didn't want you or he walked away. Don't feel that way because everything God does is for a reason. And I'm sorry, y'all.
Yeah.
I'm gonna shift it on back over to um my co-host because I had to take a moment, y'all. It gets a little in my spirit because I just think about all the young people that all the time I hear, my daddy didn't want me. My dad ain't there. My dad ain't here. My father was never there. I remember when I found out who my father was, and I found out, um, and when I found out, first I found out who my father was, and then maybe prior to that, I remember them telling me that my father had been killed not far from my house, or he was dead in a snowbank or something. But I was feeling some kind of way about it. But I can say that I've had positive male role models in my life. Um, and I'm thankful for that. I don't feel that I missed anything because my mom was a single parent of 8 children, and she has not had to come get us out of jail. Well, my brother, God rest his soul, he might have been drinking or something, but nothing too serious. But she was a single parent, and she raised us all really good, even in the absence of a father. And I would like to think that right now we are all pretty well balanced young women, um, each in their own right, owning our own of who we are and what we are and why we are created and why we are here. So I just want to say that because, yes, again, I say we're coming up on Father's Day and a lot of emotions come to play where people have questions about why my dad is not here. So, co host, take it in while I bring in our other guest.
Um, yes. From the father's point of view, even with the fathers who are out there and don't have contact with their children, don't, it's never too late to try to have contact with your children. Just a phone call, a hello, a card in the mail to let you know, to let them know you thinking of them. You know what I'm saying? I mean, even if you know what I'm saying, you go up to their school, take a happy meal, a kids meal, or something. Them kids, they'll never forget that for the rest of their life. Things like that. You have to show up in this world. What I say is either you're gonna become what you had, or you're either gonna become what you didn't have, or become what you had. You know what I'm saying? So you either gonna be a good dad or you're gonna be a neglectful father. It doesn't matter. And sometimes it ain't even just the neglect, because what we're not gonna do is act like we don't have women out here playing these reindeer games with these men and their children. Women who are withholding children from their fathers. You're not doing
Mm-hmm.
the kids any service. You are selfish, and you're manipulative, and you actually digging yourself a hole, because I don't care what you trying to go through, your child is always going to long for the missing parent. They need to know who the other half of them are. They have to know. You don't leave your kids out there because you got attitude, because he don't want you no more, or she don't want you no more, so you don't want them around the kids, you know you don't want her, you're not going to see your kids because she don't want you, and out of sight out of mind. That's not how that goes. Because you provoke your kids to anger, especially boys. You make them angry. You make women look for men. You make your little girls look for men who are somewhat like a daddy figure to them because that's not what they had. So, I mean, you keep playing these games and then you can't look up later on and like shake your head because your child, because no matter what you do, what you say, how you feel about it, that's your child. You know it. They know it. You looking at them and see that's how they turned out like that. No, they turned out like that because you weren't there also. So you can put the blame
Ooh,
on the parent who was there, but also understand you played a part by not being there. So
absolutely, absolutely. I'm gonna say on that. Yeah. All right, we got another guest coming in. Let me let her in here because she got something to say, y'all. All right, there she is. All right. I feel like you got a whole lot to add to this stream tonight. All right, we got another one of our guests
you
in.
back.
Hey,
Hey,
all right, my
Hey,
sister. So you hear our topic tonight? Have you been listening?
no, I just came in.
Okay, well, we are talking about the absent fathers, and our other co-host here, Miss Carter, she just put it down, and she was talking about the women that um play those games, and when they get the kids, and then or they withhold the kids from the fathers, and then they play those games. When you can't see your kid if I don't get this. I've seen a lot of those scenarios. And she was saying, you have to remember that even if the father is gone, you were there. So you contribute to the up and the downfall of the child, even if the father is not there. We are doing a Father's Day program tonight, and we are sharing some input um, and encouraging young women and young men who may be feeling depressed or not knowing their self worth when it comes to having an absentee parent. So, you want to add some input to this conversation tonight? You have the mic.
Well, thank you, sister. Hey, Joycey. I mean,
Hey,
Rosie. I meant to say,
hey, ma.
hey, um, I didn't have absent parents. So my father was there. He took care of us. And my mother was there and she took care of us. But I experienced absentee fathers from my children's fathers. How, well, to be honest, I got 5 babies by 5 different men. That's how my life was. And I'm not
hmm
ashamed of it because I ain't the only one that did
come on, throw your
it.
hand in there, y'all.
So, some of my children's fathers were not there and I had to raise them alone. But one thing I did not do was talk bad about their father to
hmm
them. I didn't put him down. When they asked me questions, I answered them to the best of my ability without putting salt on his name. Um,
hmm
because I knew that if I was to do that, because I've seen it happen, and I didn't want that to happen. You know,
hmm
so
I
and
got another guest trying to come in, but I'm not sure who. But keep on going. We're listening.
uh, you threw my
We were
mind
talking
blank.
about you not bad mouthing the father to the children.
No, I wouldn't do that, and I
Mhm.
wouldn't allow them to me. My dad ain't nothing. He ain't this. He ain't that.
Mhm.
And I help them to try to understand that their feelings may be their feelings, but that
Mhm.
necessarily wasn't true because every man is not bad. It was just the ones that I chose
Mhm.
that didn't step up to the plate, and or how I'm living, how you don't want to live, you know. But
Mhm.
I can't take anything. But let me say this. This one thing I did ask God. Why did he
Mhm.
make man the head when they can't take nothing? I did. I,
Y'all, this real talk. Excuse me. She done told me, y'all. But this real talk, so y'all know we come, we bring it live. And she said she asked a lot of questions. And I'm sorry, we got a guest trying to come in here. And apparently the layout is not adding more people to the stream tonight. And I will
I'll
be
leave.
addressing that later.
I will leave.
Uh, well, they tried to blink in 3 times, but came back. Uh-oh, now she ducked out. So now that's us, and we will have another guest coming in. Guest, come on back in. There's a seat empty for you. So anyway, as you were saying, you weren't bad mouthing your children's father to them because you had your part in it too.
yeah, because I chose that one,
Hmm.
their father. You know, so
Absolutely.
it was my picker that was broke.
Hmm.
You know, and I couldn't put all that evil and bad stuff on him because he didn't do no more to me than what I allowed him to do.
Hmm.
So I played a very big part in that particular man being an absentee father, you know. But
Hmm.
I have learned that I have a choice. You know, did nobody put no pistol to my head and tell me to choose him? You know, did nobody give me a reward? Give you a
Hmm.
$10,000 reward if you go with that man. Did nobody do that either? You know, it was my choice. And I have a choice of every decision that I make in life, but what I don't have a choice of are the consequences. And
Amen.
I had to learn that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But I tell you, tonight it was just heavy on my heart of really addressing this issue because so many times throughout the year I hear that, and then and even more so right now, with the problems that we have going on in the world right now with mental health, that it is so important that we reach out. All right, there go our other guest. Hello, hello, that we reach out and bring this, that we reach out and bring this information because people and young people and old people need to hear this. There's still older people who are struggling um, with why their father left, why their father ain't in their life. And so now we got a male on this stream right here, and hopefully he gonna give us some input from the men's side of things. Okay, so let me see. Is this my nephew I got going on right here? Hello, guest.
Hey,
Hey.
what's going
All
on,
right, then
Auntie?
clean up that background. And we need
Yeah,
you to talk about having a father in your life or not having a father in your life, how it affects you as a young man.
um, I mean, I guess it affects you in a lot of ways because, as you know, my dad has was incarcerated my whole childhood, but he was there through birthday cards, Christmas cards, phone calls, and visits when my mom would take me up there to visit. So I really didn't have that. I didn't have that father son bond where he would teach me things as far as the right and wrong and what type of men friends to have around me and all of that. I didn't have that from him. I had to go through my mom having a different boyfriend. It'd be for years they be be in my life, but like it wasn't nothing like having my dude. You know what I'm saying? Like I think now we got a beautiful relationship. We always had a beautiful relationship. It's just he was always incarcerated. So I think a lot of things that I done been through, all the prison and my bad decision from me having to learn to do things on my own as a young man growing into manhood, I think I would have made different decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I wouldn't even say that because yes, I can say that. I could say that because
Mm-hmm.
the decisions
Just
that I
real
made
talk,
was
you know,
based on
bringing it real.
right, right. The decisions I made was based on my environment, everything that was around me. Okay, we see the drug dealers in the neighborhood. You know, they had money, they had nice clothes, the women liked them. So I'm like, oh wait, that's what I want to do. You know, I
Mm-hmm.
want to do that. I want to have the women like me. I want to have the money. I want to have the nice clothes, as opposed to as intelligent as I am. Even back then, I could have stuck to schooling and did a lot more better things with my life instead of waiting till now I'm in my 40s to go to college. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So I did.
Absolutely.
He was
And you know,
there,
it
but
kind
he
of,
wasn't there.
so, you know, I guess I want to say, it was kind of like the statement that your cousin just made, my co-host. You know, she was saying that um, what young men see and don't see in the home um, kind of nurtures, it kind of turns the way they go. It leads them on a path of where they're going. But also, whatever the mom, the single parent provides in the home contributes to that as well. So now I know you are a father as well as you just shared with us, being a young man, now you are a grown man, but being nurtured by a father that has been incarcerated most of your life. So your relationship with your dad was through cards and phone calls and visits when the opportunity arose. So I know that you also just shared, you know, that you also went down that path because you had to figure it out for yourself. So now what about your children today?
Children, well, I think based on the things that I had to learn and them seeing me go through certain things make them decisions. You know, like all of my two oldest daughters, they both graduated, you know, and had kids after graduation. My two youngest is still in school, they honor students, and they done seen, you know, me being not present in their life for small amounts of time, but those amounts of times add up. So I think that
Hmm.
they make better decisions. They stay focused on um the right things to do, the right choices to make as far as schooling, as far as like my oldest daughter, she waited till, you know, and she was raised up, you know, in a home where she had to be an adult as a kid. You know, she the oldest on her mom's side, she the oldest out of all the kids. So she had to take care of them, you know, and then from that, she waited till she got a little older to actually start drinking and, you know, hanging out and things of that nature. And
Hmm.
so I believe that they are in a good space. You know, they make good decisions. Um, a lot of stuff my daughters didn't see me do, so I can't say the men that they attract would be because of what they how they see me. I think the men that they attract is from what they see around in their environment. You know, like I grew up
Absolutely.
with my stepdads jumping on my mom. So it was like, okay, that's something I definitely know that I don't want to be that type of man. I
Hmm.
can't be jumping on my lady and swelling her eye up, busting her lip, and all of that. No, because I got daughters too. Even before my daughters, though, you know, I don't want my daughters to
Hmm.
grow up thinking, "Oh yeah, that's cool." You know what I'm saying? Because that's what the men, we are the women's first love. You know, daughters, we're their first loves. Mothers, that's the boys, that's our first loves. So if I love my mama like I love my mama, I can't be jumping on this girl because I didn't want the stepdad to do it. I never seen my dad do it. If he did do it, I was too small to know what was going on. So it's just like, and then they know I'm intelligent, so we can talk about anything. And so they'll come to me for advice or they'll make their own decisions. If they have a problem with inside their relationship, they know what type of guy I am, so they'll try to keep that from me, or they'll try to handle it without it escalating to me falling out with a significant other or whatnot. So far, everything's been working out okay. So they definitely doing okay.
So you know what? You just touched on something. Catherine, are you still there? Um,
Yes.
when you just said about, because that was something we were talking about. I was getting a little feedback, y'all, but we okay. Um, but that was one of the things that I was just sharing earlier in the broadcast. That even at a younger age, when you said that the type of that you weren't you knew even as young as you were what was going on with your mom or the stepdad, and you knew what you didn't want to be and how you didn't want to act. And so, Catherine, I want you to come in on that too. Because like he was saying, he has daughters and he has sons too. Even when it comes to our daughters and sons, witnessing, I think that what kids see does have a great effect on them, no matter how young they are. What do you have to say about that?
Well, that's true. But in my home, it wasn't my father fighting my mother. It was my mother beating up my daddy. Uh, she would tear his behind up. Oh my God. And when he would come home, he would be drunk. And that's when she'd really get him. Because he would be talking junk. And I had got to the point where I would see him come walking up the stairs, and I be praying, God, please don't let him say nothing. Don't let him say nothing. Because he know mama gonna beat him. Don't let him say nothing. But I'm saying that to say, by seeing that, I thought that I could do the same thing. I thought that I could beat up guys. And I would get in fights with my children's fathers, and they would tear me up. But my thinking was, at least I did this or did that, and he knew that he was in a fight. But I ain't thinking about what my children are seeing and
Mm-hmm.
how that's affecting them, and how they would think that that's okay for them to get in that type of relationship where
Mm-hmm.
a man is beating them up, you know. But like the young man said, if you love them, you ain't gonna put your hands on them. You don't want
That's right.
to be talking about you living with this woman, or that's my woman and she got a black eye and a busted lip, and y'all walking
Mm-hmm.
down the street together, or y'all can't go out together because she's all bruised up, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But and I want to say too is that my father was in the black mafia, and so those are the type of men that I was attracted to. My brothers were in gangs. The I forget the name of them now, but this was in the 60s and 70s, and so my brothers were hustlers.
Mm-hmm.
Today they call them thugs, but back then they were pimps and hustlers, and that's the
Mm-hmm.
role my brothers played. And so I was attracted to that lifestyle, but it didn't fit me,
Uh-huh.
you know. And
Got you.
my children, they grew up to be in gangs and all of that too. My girls did. And I'm telling you, my girls were worse than my son. The things that they were doing, you would have thought my son would have been doing. But I never
Mm-hmm.
saw my son do any drive-by shootings and robberies and grand theft and none of that. But my daughters were involved in it. And by the
Yeah,
grace of
y'all
God,
know this real talk. Now we just want to reiterate, now understand that our co-host right here, she has lived some life like all the rest of us. And she is actually at the age and I ain't gonna tell it all as she do, but she's well
76,
over set.
I'm
All right.
76.
She went on shout it out. So when she say drive by shooters, don't be trying to ride up over here on our show because it had happened about 40 years ago.
Leave me
And
alone.
it wasn't down here.
Allegedly.
I want to clear
Allegedly.
that
I'm just sharing where I came from.
up. Yes.
But
And
that's
she was
not how I'm
sharing.
living. That's not how I'm living today.
Absolutely.
I'm saved and I'm not religious, but I am spiritual.
Amen.
And
Amen.
there's just I'm just glad I'm not living like that. But that I just had to share that realness.
That's right. Keep it
You know,
real. That's why we
real.
call this Real Talk 100.
Yeah, I had to
I just
keep it
wanted to
real.
make sure they didn't think that we was doing no drive-bys just recently.
No, 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 no,
Some
no.
of y'all wasn't even born yet.
Yeah,
But if I
right.
look, but if I'm
You
provoked,
wasn't born.
if I am provoked,
But look,
um,
let me say this, and this is what I always share when I speak at meetings or events or conventions, that yeah, I used to do that stuff, and the old me has been arrested and she's locked up. But depending on where I'm at that day, she may show up, the old me, because I ain't forgot how to shoot you. I ain't forgot how to kick you in your groins. I ain't
right.
forgot how to put
Amen to
sugar
that.
in your tank. I ain't forgot how to cut your tires. I haven't forgotten how to do any of that. I just don't live like that. I just needed to share that.
And I want y'all to remember that last part. She don't live like that anymore. The old her has passed away. Behold, all things have become new. And she is a new creature in Christ, which has changed her entire life and mine. So praise God. To all him be the glory.
God be the glory. God be the
And I
glory.
wanted to look, don't have the popo knocking on your door.
No, I don't participate.
We don't even participate, y'all. And some of the police weren't even born back then.
Okay, that's for real. Because I was born in 47. So, that's been some time ago. But today, I have to share this because this is where God has brought me from.
Hmm.
Today, I am living my dream that I have always had since I was a little girl. And I've
Come on.
always wanted to be a mortician from a little girl. So today, I'm a funeral home director.
See,
Today.
y'all, see what God do.
Yeah.
Won't he do it? And did y'all hear her say she's 76?
Won't he
It
will?
ain't never too late to get it right. Okay.
Never. Never.
Um, I was gonna say, my cousin was talking, and he's absolutely correct. That's exactly what I was talking about. Um,
Got a little feedback, y'all. Uh-huh. Go ahead.
I don't know. Did I have to mute?
Nah, we
Mm-mm.
waiting on you to talk.
Oh, um, yeah, he's absolutely correct. Mel, being around me, especially when my oldest was younger, I was I was wild. Boy, I was wild. Um, but I'm gonna tell you, I'm happy I changed my ways because I wouldn't want if my son had have brought me home to me, woo child, I'd have put me out. I'd have put me out.
He'd have brought you home to you, huh? Right.
Oh man, if he'd have brought 20 something year old something to me, oh man. Oh, she wouldn't have made it to the game. And just I've been like, take her back, son. No.
Yeah, that's funny, that.
That's too much game for you, don't. No, sir. So, I just was
Well,
thinking, but I learned a lot of things, growing up from my mother. So, you just couldn't get anything over on me. But I will say this, that, being around um males who were, positive for him, that has come out a lot because as you see, the young man he is today, he won't take nothing from my hand. Mama, I don't want that from you. Mama this, mama that. I'll be like, boy, is you hungry? I don't want you to buy me nothing to eat. That's who he is. He don't like that. He don't like that. He don't like me to do nothing for him, but I still sneak and do it anyway. But I mean, it ain't that he asked for it. But that's just my job. I'm not gonna sit up there and look at you hungry. You know, if I'm eating some ribs and I know you love ribs, you know, you're gonna eat some of these ribs. Just, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Now the youngest one, we ain't gotta worry about that. He gonna eat, he gonna taste the ribs before I do. But but that's
Different
because
era of children.
Today's
but that's because he don't want me to get poisoned though. So you know,
right. You got to make sure it's safe for human consumption.
yeah, that's what he do.
That's that's the
If
best
somebody
line.
if somebody poisoned me, you look to him first because trust me, he tasted it well before I did. So
I am him. Let me taste that first.
right, that's him. Yeah,
I'm
he,
him.
he make
Let me taste
right.
that first.
He make my plate. Gotta taste everything. He pour my drink. He gotta drink something first.
Oh
I
yeah,
said,
I
you
gotta
know,
make sure it's good.
give somebody the chance to poison me, son. Just
He ain't good.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna say this that I really, 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 I love it when we do real talk because I love the openness.
My
I really
apologies
love
too
the
because I
sharing.
keep
I
forgetting
love
that
the
the time is
openness.
different. I
Yes,
forgot that the
and
time is
you
different.
came in late.
it's
Yeah,
okay.
I'm sitting here waiting on 7 o'clock, and I was like, wait a minute, because on my phone
It's 7
it showed
o'clock
that you
somewhere.
active. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm late in the mud because I'm thinking it's 7 o'clock. I forgot 6 o'clock your time, 7 o'clock. No, 6 o'clock my time, seven
Uh-huh.
o'clock your time.
Right,
You
7
know
o'clock
how
our
those
time.
cartoons come on 7, 6 Central. You the
And I
central.
And
thought
listen,
I sent out a reminder earlier, but you probably missed
yeah,
it. But
I mean
I'm
you
still
did, but it
glad
ain't
that
went
you were
through.
able to, and I'm
Yeah,
glad you were able to come in on the back end of this because what you shared was so important
Mm-hmm.
because some young men that want to play this back or young person and going to hear what you had to say and it's going to make them feel better about themselves and hopefully it's going to help them think about some of the conversations they say or have with themselves when they are alone about not having a father figure in their life um, but understanding that you are still here you are capable of being the best you that you can be if you move out of your own way because in the end of the day, we come in this earth alone and we leave here alone. So we have the choice to have life and live it more abundantly. And I always say that if you don't know Christ, you need to get to know him. And I ain't talking about go to your local church and say I go to church every Sunday. I'm talking about you having a personal relationship with the Lord because he answers your prayers. He watch over you. He give you breath every day to get up, plant your feet on the floor and stand up. And if you don't plant your feet, he give you breath every day to know that he is who he is. And he is what he said. He gonna do what he said. He's faithful and true to his word. And I always gonna have to throw that in there, y'all, because this is real talk. But we also know that it's real talk 100 now, and we keeping it 100 because right now we have so much destruction going on in the world and the media want to keep our eyes on that how our youth are this or but it's interesting how all the bad stuff get reported but none of the good stuff and but we know somewhere in this world there's good happening every day and we have to come forth and share some of that. So, Kathy, you the show made us laugh about the whooping on the head. And, yep, you shared about the 5 daughters and the 5 men, 5 fathers. Because some woman out here right now, she maybe got 5 or 6 or 7 kids with 5 or 6 or 7 different fathers. And everybody talking about them. But guess what, baby? Those are your babies. And you get to make the choice on how they live. If the father
Mm-hmm.
not there, you still get to make a choice of how they come up.
see, right
So,
now the key thing for the new generation nowadays, this is
mhm,
something that they don't pay attention to as far as dealing with kids. Like kids mimic what they see. Their
Mm-hmm.
brains is like little sponges, so they soak up everything. So
Yeah.
now the people that's trying to be parents now, they want to, you're not trying to be a parent. My mama was never my friend.
mhm,
She was always
Mm-hmm.
my mama. She was never my friend. She didn't become my friend, and well, She always been my friend, but she never displayed that. I didn't realize
Yeah.
that she was my friend until I got older.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't do, well, I'm just gonna let you just do anything. Or you didn't do them chores, or you ain't going outside. What I want to do as a kid, I want to be outside. Or you didn't do this, you ain't do your homework. Oh, okay. Well, she gonna let my sister and them eat popsicles, and I can't get it.
Oh man.
So it's like when you see what's going on in your household, or if you step out of your house and go spend a night somewhere at somebody else's household, and you see what's going on in their household, you definitely gonna compare what you see there to your household. And if it look like gold over here,
Mm-hmm.
you think, oh yeah, this is where it's at. But that the gold ain't glitter. So a lot of
Yep.
kids don't get they don't understand. They grow up too fast.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You
That's
know
why the
what?
young kids right now is killing other young kids. They killing like assassins. They ain't killing. Oh, you made a mistake and shot somebody. No, you shoot them in the head. Like there's no more you. So they
Right.
only doing what they see in their household. They see mama and daddy just using drugs or fornicating or whatever in front of them. That's what they're gonna grow up doing.
Yep.
I hate to say it,
Yeah.
Yeah, because these kids right
So
now, I think our generation was like the last ones who had a most of our generation who had a forward thinking thought where we could do what we saw or do the opposite of what we saw. So you, and that does make a difference. These kids, even right now, their music is just like a repetitive thing. They keep listening to the same rhythm every day, same rhythm every day. They just got a different message to the rhythm every single day. I'm like, this is the same song. How y'all don't know this is the same song y'all keep listening to? And so, I think that type as a type of brainwashing, you know what I'm saying? That's crazy. We know we can hear the song, but to them, they like, oh, play that other one, play that. It's the same song y'all keep playing. What are you talking
We,
about?
we didn't get rewarded. We didn't get rewarded for bad behavior.
Right.
These kids these days they get rewarded. If your little toddler is being bad and you trying to do something else, meaning you trying to do some adult things, trying to hold a conversation with an adult or whatever you trying to do, and you ain't thinking nothing about it, but this little kid keep being bad. But the first thing they gonna do, take this phone, take this video game,
Yeah.
take this tablet. We're gonna get them
Yeah.
on Fortnite. We're gonna get them on all this other stuff. And now they don't know the difference between what's good and what's bad. Because
Right.
every time they act out or they throw a temper tantrum, that's the
You throw
first
them a
thing they do. So they
distraction.
brainwash from the get-go.
Yeah.
If you really
y'all
pay
know what we
attention to
gonna
these
have to.
little babies, if you pay attention to these little bit, watch these little babies nowadays. You give a little 2-year-old a phone, and once they see how, because they're gonna go to YouTube, they know how to get to YouTube on your phone, they know
Yep.
how to swipe up, they know how to swipe across, they know how
Next
to pick
thing
what
you
they
know,
want, Cocoa Melon.
in Gracie cornering all day long. To the left, to the
Oh,
left.
yeah.
Gracie be
Well,
crazy.
that goes over to what, and Kat, are you still there? That
Yeah.
goes over to what I just said at the beginning of our broadcast. And guys, y'all know I don't want to go over tonight, but we 15, so we're gonna stay. We're gonna stay till probably about. We're gonna wrap it up in 15 minutes. Cause my husband, but y'all anyway, we'll talk about that later. But you just opened up a whole nother subject for our next week's topic, and we'll work on that. But that was something I said earlier when you said about little toddlers, and I said at the beginning of the broadcast, no matter how young your child is, whatever they see going on, whatever the
Mhm.
practice is what they learn. It's learned behavior. They're always learning because nowadays they soaking up even more, even at a younger age. You know, if they truly know how to work an iPhone, they surely know if somebody's stalking you in your eye. Okay,
Right.
so Catherine,
Yes.
I think you had something else to add.
Oh, I was just laughing at Nelly, is it? When he was talking about these children. And I'm telling you, we were
Melly
not
Mel.
girl, look. I don't like he said, I don't know what this generation is doing. Cause when I was coming up, we had to say yes, ma'am, and no, ma'am. Wasn't no
Yep.
yeah and no.
Oh,
Uh,
it's
you had to respect your elders. You couldn't talk back to them. If the neighbors saw us doing something, they could whoop us.
mm, mm,
And when mom and daddy got home and they found out, we got another whooping. Uh,
Now they call that
Yeah,
child
but
abuse.
yeah, not a, yeah,
it
they
was a
call that
village that
child.
raised you.
Yeah,
Right, it's the village, right? Cause
yeah,
that was the
yeah,
village.
yeah, yeah.
The village
But
raised you. Now, if you whoop a kid, you going to jail for whooping somebody else's kid. Plus, you got to fight the parents if it don't even
Yep,
get more violent.
yeah,
yep.
You know,
yeah, yeah.
You
But
Boy,
know,
they gonna,
and
they
it
gonna
was
do this.
something that
They
you
gonna
said,
they gonna
Melly
pull out their
Mel.
phone and record.
yep.
Go live. Your kid doing the most horriblest stuff. Oh yeah, look at this. I don't know who kid this is. You know who kid that is. That's Charlena's son. Call Charlena.
Right.
You know, why you putting Charlena's son on live? Call Charlena or call Tom, the daddy. You
Mm-hmm.
know, or you can snatch that collar up. That ain't happening.
Right.
look, and I'm gonna tell you, I work with people with mental health issues and substance abuse. And I had a young man that I was working with that came to see me, but he had his pants. You know how they wear their pants down.
Mm-hmm.
And I talked to him and listened to him and tried to help him. But at the end, I told him, next time we visit, have a belt and have your pants pulled up. Because I
Mhm.
don't know if you know the true meaning of wearing your pants like that. So I want you to search and find out the meaning of why they wear their pants like that. But when you come see me, you come to see me properly dressed. And I
That's
told
right.
my daughter what I had did, and she said, "Mama, you gonna get beat up." I said, "No, I'm not."
Mhm.
I'm trying to help that young man become a productive member of society. You can't
Amen.
go to a
Amen.
job with your pants below your butt,
Right.
Mhm.
and don't nobody want to see that no way.
Mm-mm.
So
Hey,
I can use
absolutely.
my motherly instincts to help this new generation because
Mhm.
they ain't doing better because they don't know better. And we
Right.
as adults have to teach them, whether they
Right.
my child or not.
You know what, Ma, you right about that. Because I always say when I be sitting here, Mama, I don't go out the house that much, especially in the winter, in the summertime. I ain't going.
Mhm.
But I'm telling you, this last 2 weeks, I have had more young men and women come and sit in here next to my bed. I ain't took a nap in 2 weeks. Because every time I shut my eyes, it don't even be
Here
my
goes
children
somebody.
that come and sit here. Here come other people. Hey, hey. And then you know how it always start. They walk past my door, and then they walk past again. Then finally by the third time, I'm like, who is that? And hey, hey, oh, you up? Yeah, you know I'm up. What you?
Mhm.
Hey, yeah. Then they just come in. They come right in. Just go and have a seat. Just hey, I
It's
just
too
thinking,
comfortable.
I'm just thinking, I'm
Mhm.
trying to make a career change and all of this. Where I'm working at. So then, I got to get with them and devise a plan and how we gonna make this, you know what I'm saying? How you gonna make this work?
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And I just be thinking, I'm like, where is these parents? And I figured it out. Oh, it's me. Oh, okay. Well, I guess. And then this is what they do. You think they get the information and leave because my children wasn't even home that day. Matter of fact,
Mhm.
no. They go somewhere in this house and they lay down and they finally can rest their mind and they take a nap.
That's a
And
blessing.
I holler out, who in the house? And they all get to announcing their name. I'll be like, is any of my children here?
Y'all, she is so. I'm telling y'all, she so has her mother's house. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
I can remember all the nephews wanting to come over our house. I can remember nieces. I can remember having cribs in my house with children sleeping in them because the parents was at the club. I can remember babysitting about 15 kids at one time. And when they got older, they would bring home kids, stray dogs, all kinds of
Yeah.
stuff. I'll come downstairs. I don't know how many folks live in the house. But that's the kind of house they grew up in. They always was given, and they were always, people found the house. It was a safe environment. And
Yeah.
that is what a lot of our young people need today. When Catherine said about checking them, because a lot of times they want somebody to tell them, because like you said, they don't know. But so many people operate in fear. They're afraid to say something or correct the young people today. So if nobody corrects them, they just continue to walk in error.
Here's, you
And
know
that
what?
is what we got to gird up our lungs with and stop
Yeah,
walking in fear. Shoot,
Chad,
you know what? The Lord said he know the day you came in and he know the day you going out. So speak on up. That's why we do Real Talk
yeah,
100. Go ahead,
I'm
Miss
gonna,
Carter. I heard you.
I'm gonna
Or
make,
Melly Mel, you got something to say?
I'm gonna make you laugh real quick. I said the other
Come on,
day,
girl.
we was talking about earlier how, I try to make for my boys a peaceful environment because I don't want them to have a chaotic house. I don't
Hmm.
like for young men to come in the chaos. 'Cause when they come home from work, they've already had the world on them, so they like to come in to peace. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So the other day, one of my bonuses was here, and he was laying down, and all kinds of stuff then broke out, and then people come through my door, making way too much noise. After everything got calmed down, my bonus come. He talking about some shoot. We was all in here chilling, minding our business. It was so peaceful, and they came over here with all that ruckus and chaos. Oh no, they got to go.
Time to go.
And for the first
He
time,
don't even live there.
right, for the first time in years, my door got locked, and I said, "What happened?" No, you don't understand. My door ain't been locked since what? How old Jeremiah? Since Jeremiah was 3. I ain't never locked my door. I ain't never locked my door. But that day,
Yeah.
my door finally got locked. It was it. I said,
It
"What
ain't,
happened?"
it ain't coming in now.
And that was the boys' decision. That was all their decision. They were like, "Oh no, you can't." They was all on their video games and resting and chilling. Everybody in their own corner. It was peace in the valley, and they came in here with their ruckus, and they was like, "Oh no, oh no." I said, I would have thought it was one of my children. I didn't think it was gonna be one of the bonuses who just learned of this peace. It's like
He
he just
just
learned
learned.
about this. Right. He just learned about this piece. He ain't trying to wreck all that. No, no, lock that door.
Lock that door fast.
Hmm.
And that's how fast they did.
Hmm.
When the ruckus tried to come back,
And I guess you
yeah,
and you know what, that is great, because I guess kids do, they need that peace, they need to have that safety, that rest, that place they can just go be them, and be a kid, because nowadays kids don't get to be kids. They got
Yeah.
to be the
right.
parent, they got to be the
Hmm.
whole 9 yards.
Yep.
And somewhere, like you said, after this two age, somewhere in here, Kathy, after the '80s babies,
Yeah.
I don't know what went wrong.
Uh,
It's like
There's a
they just
whole
a whole
generation.
generation skipped of children that didn't get raised.
Yeah.
They
That's
but
right.
did.
what I see too, is that the parents are on drugs or alcohol, and the grandparents are having to raise the
Mhm.
grandbabies.
Mhm.
And I look at myself, God stopped allowing women to have babies at a certain age. And I'm
Mhm.
grateful that he had put that cycle in place, because if I was having babies, there is nowhere in the world I could be a soccer mom, a basketball mom, a baseball mom.
Mm-mm.
Ain't no way in the world I could take them to all of those activities. So the grandparents are not able to do that for the children
Mm-mm.
that they're raising. And
Mhm.
of course, the grandparents are going to let the grandchildren have
Do it.
more play than what my parents or me allowed my children to do.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I think that's where the mess comes in at. The grandparents just don't have it in them.
Y'all know what? That's gonna be a great topic we're gonna pick up because you know what? We started talking about that one of our shows, and Mel, I'm gonna let you have the stage in just a moment. But we're gonna pick that up on our next one because we talk about all the time the substance abuse and the alcohol addictions, whatever they may be. But you know, nobody really get down to the nitty gritty about grandparents raising children. I hear all this pretty stuff, and nothing personal against the women who are supporting being a grandparent and all of that, raising kids while being a grandparent. But there are some things that God put in place, and we have to be obedient to the word and the word first to the Lord. And no matter how hard we want to step in, we also know that sometimes at 80, you ain't got no business raising no 2-year-old.
No.
And I'm going to just put it there.
Yeah.
Mel, and this is going to be our topic next week. Go ahead, those who want to, you're going to have the right to agree or disagree with us. We're still going to love you. Anything we say here, we're still going to love you. But I'm going to let Mel go ahead and close us out with something. And then I'm going to give you ladies a 2-minute rebuttal. And y'all be ready next week because y'all know the fire going to be lit. Okay. Come on, Mel. Give it to us.
I ain't really. I'm just gonna touch bases on what Miss Catherine had said, about the sagging. Thank God for me, by the grace of God, I was never one of those guys that wanted to wear my pants down like that, Like I was into criminal stuff. So I'm like, I done seen so many guys that was in the same type of criminal life, and they always get caught. Why? You fail because your pants, So I ain't gonna have my pants have. Then I don't want my whole butt hanging out no way. I'm a little fella. I think it looks funny. I don't want that breeze. So that's all I was gonna say. Then she made me think because it's like I'm 45, and when I see a guy my age or older that still want to be relevant, how is you, bro? You 50. You in your 30s. And you go in. If I go, Miss Catherine might. I don't know if she's familiar with the chicken coop, but you go to the chicken coop in Muskegon, and I'm just trying to order me a nice little chicken tender deal, and then this old guy come in here, and your whole butt out. You know what I'm saying? And then, no. I ain't trying to sound, what I'm saying, out of. Well, people might take it out of context, but it's like, bro, you got your whole butt showing. It look like you got on women underwear.
Oh, no, not the
you got on some satin or some silk. What? Come on, bro. Then you see 2 little kids, and they're like, you don't think that's bad look to you as a grown person to see these little kids in here? The little kids don't know what they're looking for. They know you got your pants down. You like,
right?
Look, he's showing his booty. Come on, man.
Right, you was somebody granddad.
All right. So guys, y'all done heard it. You heard it straight from the man. I'm gonna do. Yep, it's 8:30, guys. So, Miss Carter, you want to close out with any statement tonight?
I will say, following up with my cousin, you ain't never lied, cuz you ain't never lied. You do got that generation of men who just won't let it go. Brother, let it go. It ain't for you no more. Let it go. Walk away. All I'm what I will say is
I almost want to do a TikTok.
Right.
I almost want to do a TikTok. It'll make a lot of guys look bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, you know how, the guys, you see a woman, she nice formed and all that. Oh, wait. You know what I'm saying? Might even try to slap on her butt and ask a guy. Now, what'll happen if somebody do that to you? Well, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. But you inviting it.
Right.
If it's a gang out there, you inviting it. You know what I'm saying? You don't know what to think. He thinking you like him.
I would sign up to watch that TikTok.
Man, if you don't do that TikTok,
I ain't trying to have nobody kill me. They might try to keep. Don't take my life. Please don't kill me, Freaky Jason.
Yeah.
Forgive me, viewers.
Yes, forgive us.
That was
Oh
funny.
my! But we have a ball here on Real Talk, y'all.
That was funny. Now.
That's true.
All right,
Bet you get a lot
Catherine,
of
I'm
people
gonna let
mad.
you take it on.
You gotta let me stop laughing first.
Mhm.
But anyway, thanks, Nelly. That was nice.
Right.
Oh, no problem, no
I
problem.
never thought about it like that, but you absolutely correct. Maybe I'll try that when I see that next time. Go up and hit some boy on the butt,
What
I
a
can just see the
sweet
look on
kid.
his face. Ooh, Miss Catherine done slap him on his bottom.
and I tell him, "Oh,
If
I
he get
thought
mad,
you
if he get
wanted."
mad, well, I thought that's what you wanted me to do.
Oh
But
my
I am
goodness. Oh
grateful
God.
for. I'm grateful for real talk. I hope I didn't offend anyone, but
Me too.
my life, I'm not ashamed of, and so I don't mind sharing where what happened, what it was, how it is now. I'm not ashamed to share that. So I love real
Yeah.
talk because I can be transparent. And whoever judges me because of what I've shared, then I say, go to God and talk to Him about it because I'm okay.
Amen.
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 Amen. I love it. I love it, y'all. That's all need to be said because she just closed us out real well. So
Real well.
I want to thank y'all for joining us on Real Talk. I also want to tell you to remember to like and follow us on YouTube. I want you to send up those stars. I'm doing a fundraiser. So you guys go over there and check that out too. My Daughter's House Incorporated. You got some of the crew right here. And we keep it real. That's why it's called Real Talk 100. You got the right to turn it right on off if you don't like what you hear, but understand this is life experience and we keep it real. All right. So I want to thank y'all for taking time tonight. We'll be on time next week, 7 o'clock, Friday night. Enjoy your weekend.
It's my time.
Happy Father's Day to all the fathers. And
Thank you.
um,
Happy Father's Day.
women, pull it together. Y'all pull it together. It's going to be all right. If
Let
he
them
there and
kids
if he
go with their
ain't, you still
daddy.
can have a good day.
Let them kids go with their daddy for Father's Day. It ain't gonna cost you nothing but some peace.
Love
All
y'all.
right, y'all.
All right.
All right, we're coming from Houston, and well, we went to Chicago, y'all. Y'all didn't know that, but we came back.
No, no.
Raleigh and Winston. All right, we covering every area. You guys have an awesome night. I love y'all to the
Love
moon and
you.
back.
Love you.
Good
Bye.
night, sweetie.
Good
Good
night. Love
night.
you,
Saturday
Nelly.
night, everybody.
All right. Good night. Love y'all.
Love you too,
Love
Nelly.
you too.